Hey, how you guys doing? Let's do this thing. Let me see here. If we play b3, he'll play queen d8, check, king g4, and queen f3, and then he'll trade off queens, so we don't want to do that. Let's see, b3, pawn b3. Excuse me, queen d8, check, king king h6, let's see, b3, queen d8, d8 check. If king h6, queen d6, king h7, and then we're safe. So I'm gonna push. Not sure what to do with this. Let's see. Oh. Oh, that's that. Oh. Yeah, queen e1. Yeah. And then push the pawn. Yeah, drat. I was hoping to try to go for a checkmating idea. But, like, yeah. Yeah, wins the queen. That's right. This was my idea. And then after here, king h6. Oh, he's got h8. Okay. Ah, okay. It's a draw at that point. That was my fault there. I thought for sure there was a win. But winning the queen's good too. But I tried to push a little too hard. But that was correct. Okay. Okay, so d3. Bishop d3. Excuse me. I'm looking at potentially knight to b4, which is a fork of the bishop and the queen. So, excuse me. One second. Yeah, I get a drink of water for a second. Whoa, slow drink of water. Okay. Okay, that's fine too. Not to worry. Yeah, pawn. Oh, that's a fork too. Oh, hey, how you doing, Erie? Oh yeah, liking that. Yeah, yeah. Nice job. Whoa. Wow, that gave us a lot of points. Whoa. It said it gave us one, but it actually gave us like 15. Cool. Great job. Great job. Yeah. Onward and upward. Boy, this is different for sure. We have the king so close to being snared in our web of an attack. Is there any way we can? Hmm. Boy, I'm thinking of potentially no. I was thinking of f5, but that's not a good move because if f5, he's got queen d5 check, so we can't. That doesn't work. It's too bad we can't play g takes h4. If rook takes h3, queen c5. Let's see this. Queen c5 check. King g4. Queen g5, but check. But he just runs. So there's nothing on this. That's a nothing move. Maybe we just take. We could actually potentially just take the rook. Rook takes h1. Let's see what happens if we draw the queen away from the attack. Rook takes h1. Queen takes h1. queen f 5, queen f5. That might be something. Rook takes h1, queen takes h1, and then queen f5, which threatens to actually win basically, and with a lot of checking potentials. What do you guys think? Do you think it's rook takes h1? Can oh, g4. G4, nice. Let me see something. What would happen if he played? After this, I'm thinking it's queen f5. Queen f5 stops really everything. Queen f5. Because if queen f5, then we have we have g4 check. If king takes h6, then queen g6 is mate. Yeah, I'm thinking that's it right there. Whoa. Okay. There we go. Yeah, it's like, that queen's hanging. So I'll show you the mate. It's really cool. So after I thought about this, why not just grab the queen, play here, and if he, we'll say, plays there, you can actually do check, takes, mate. Let's see what we've got. Okay. B6 is mate 11, so so that's what the computer saw. This is mate 11. All right. He has no defense. Nice. That is true. I think we just pick up the knight. I believe it's bishop takes g4. And then we could actually threaten mate. I think we win a whole knight in that. Trying to see. I think we do. I think it does win a piece because then we can check after that. That's fine. Hey, we want. There we go. 16. I know why it's 16%. They got enticed and moved too fast. No, no, you're right. It's no, you were right. This is correct. Cause the whole idea about this was the reason it's 16% pass is because of this here. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, wait, what about something like this, right? C6. No, you have a check. And then I knew what you're. I knew, because then a discovery. The old discovered check wins again. 16.5% pass rate, because they fall. Yeah, they fall for this rook over here, when in reality the knight is free. It's a free piece right there. It happens to us all. We just have to slow down. That's what I've learned, is slowing down and just being patient is the thing of the day, or the answer of the day. Because it's we've lost like one time like 10 to 15 points, and it's better to take an extra 5 to 7 minutes and make sure that you get it right. And even if you only get 1 point, because think about it, you're 16 points ahead, because you would have lost 15, but you got one, so you're 16 points ahead by just patience and taking time. Okay, let's see here. Boy, this is an awkward position for sure. Hmm. I'm thinking that potentially it might be rook e7 check, or rook takes e7, e7 check. If king takes e7, bishop takes f6 check. Or we could just plain old take queen takes. I think queen takes is best. That's me. Queen takes g6 or g7 check, and then if king e6, we have queen takes f6, and I'm thinking that we're getting close to mate, almost mate. We're almost mate at this point, very close to mate. Probably one more move. So we know that. What's it? That's not rook. I'm sorry. I put rook takes. I mean king takes. Yikes! That was. Oh no, no, that's right. I did put king takes. That's right. It was we're white. That's right. I forgot. Okay, let's say rook takes. Rook takes e7. Um, see, rook takes e7. Now we have to decide between, do we want to take with the bishop, or do we want to take with the rook and get a check? I'm gonna go with the rook because that would be mate. Rook takes f6 is mate. No? What did we miss? No? What's... That's puzzling. Oh, I missed the queen could take. I forgot to calculate that line. That was my fault there. Okay, so so bishop takes. So he takes, rook takes, king takes, rook h, bishop, queen check, and then queen f. Okay, you use his own pieces as a barricading unit. Gotcha. Actually, that looks tempting. I was checking that out. Bishop c5. Then bishop c5 check. It's funny. He actually has knight e4 check. He actually has knight e4 check. We can't take the bishop though. We're in check at that point. We have to actually. Oh, that is true. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that's right. That's funny. That's funny. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah. That is kind of cute because I was like, I you know what, that was kind of, it was cool. I was like, wow, that was because for a second there I thought that we couldn't because we would have to take the knight. Then I realized that we're actually attacking the piece that's going to be giving us a check, so we could take it. That's cool. That's a nifty one. That's nifty. I like that. this is not good. Let's see here. Just thinking here. I just need a second just to think. So I'm not ignoring. I'm just running through these lines in my head to make sure that I can see. Because sometimes you have to sacrifice a piece to get into a winning position. Yeah, I see that because you have to sometimes figure in that you're not gonna. You have to sometimes pull pieces, yeah, and removing like removing a pawn, something like that. Let me try a line here. Knight takes d5. If bishop takes d5, or not d5, knight takes c5. Bishop takes c5. Knight takes e6. If f takes e6, queen takes e6 check. King f8. But you always have to calculate, what about the other take? Knight takes c5, right? Queen takes c5. Rook d3 check. D3 rook d1 check. King takes d1. Knight takes f7 check. King e8. Not D1. That's funny. Rook D8. That's right, because it's black. King takes D8. Okay. And then knight takes H8. I think we have to trade knights off and potentially go for a KO or something like that. That's what I was thinking about. We have a knight that's double attacked, so we have to do something about that for sure. You have to always ask, what did the knight leave behind? The knight left when it left its post. It opened up for a rook to rook D. The whole D file is now under our control. So if we have the ability to go for maybe an attack, we can set up for some sort of mate with our pawn and our queen, our rook and queen. So try to make a plan based on that. What's your guys' input? What do you think? So knight takes queen. So knight takes, queen takes, bishop takes, knight f. Yeah, that does potentially. Well, bishop. I mean, knight takes e6. F takes e6. Queen takes e6. check, king f8, and then rook d7. What do you think about that? We'd be up a whole pawn in that line. Even if he trades, yeah, even if, let's say, knight takes e6, bishop takes e3, and then knight takes c7, check. We have that right there too. And we're actually threatening mate at that point. Yeah, I believe that is the move. And then rook right there. I'll show you the mating idea. Surprisingly, that got 51%, so that's pretty stellar. Yeah, and then here, wham! There's your mate. So he can't take our queen. If he does, it's mate. So he has to take here, and then we bring our rook to d7, and now we're threatening checkmate. So he's in a world of hurt. h7 is the only move. Then you just take the queen, the rook takes, and basically with a forking idea. That there forks, and then if he tries to block, you always have some sort of bishop maneuver, so that's nice. Oh boy, there's two ideas here. There's queen takes h6, check, or setting up for a discovery with bishop takes h6. There's two ideas there. Let's check out the queen takes, which is the most forcing, the most forcing line. King g8, queen takes f6. If king h7, then bishop h5, or bishop h6, rook I don't know how to continue after that, because he's going to bring his rook to g8 at that point. He'll bring his rook to g8, and then we're kind of up a creek without a paddle there. Let's take a look. Bishop takes h6. Rook, we'll say g8. We'll say rook g. Well, I don't know if he'll go. Would he go g8? We'll say rook. We'll try to give him as much room as we can. Rook e8. Rook e8. Not d8. Rook e8. And then bishop. I don't think we get anything. Any bishop move doesn't respond to anything. I know, there is no, that's what I was looking at. I was trying to figure out a way to yeah. Well, I was thinking about changing the bishop move instead of h6. Potentially bishop to b2 maybe. Could take the pawn now at this point. Hey, he's walking up the board. and we actually we get the rook at this point. That wins the rook at this point. We actually win a rook because you could take it a little bit further after after the king goes to h5. We can actually play queen takes g8. We could play queen takes g8 after that, and we're good to go. Just a slight different location of the bishop really makes a big difference, huh? Me too. I have a kind of change. Yeah, I think I'm also thinking of playing bishop b2 at this point, and if queen takes c2, bishop takes f6. I was after at this point I'm looking at to see if we can't take scope on that, and if queen then h7, if queen then h7. Oh, if queen g6, then queen h8 is a mate. I don't think there's any way to win in this position. I think we actually, with the bishop move here, my idea was queen h7 to try to hold, but then you can actually drop your queen back to queen to g6 check, and the queen would have to go to g7 to block, and then queen takes g7 is mate. Yeah, you drop back. It's this one here. It's add to that line queen g not g5, sorry, my bad, I put g6. It's actually g5. You are right. g5 check. And there's no way to stop mate. Because his king's stuck, and if he moves his rook, we're winning. There's no way he's gonna lose now with bishop b. Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess you're right. He could do that, huh? Huh. Hmm. That is a kind of, yeah. Yeah, I think so now too. Well, let's take. Oops. Sorry. I didn't take it far enough. Yeah, because then now we have a in route to take there. No, it's fine. Hey, it's okay. We'll get it back. Let's take a look to see why ours cut off. Hold on, let me see. Well, let's see here. Then the king goes there. Oh, no, it's fine. No, you don't have to be cut off. You're fine. Hey, you know what? We learned from it. Let's see why this actually doesn't work. Ah, you always got to figure out so you can improve. It's because of the queen going to c6. See? Okay. So this would have been a draw. So we had a draw going. Yeah, it's okay. We'll do it one more time and then we'll move on to our next one. Oops. Ah, that was my bad there. I have to do that again. Oops, not again. Another slip there. Come on. Come on, we gotta do this. Stay on task there. Stay focused. Bishop takes. Queen there. Check. Queen h4. And then take. Perfect. We'll just do it one more time. Just so that we get it in our minds. There we go. It's a 29% pass. I think they did the same idea we did. So it's okay. We're just, you know what, we just got to keep pushing forward and learning and improving. I don't think we lost any points on that, so that was good. It's okay. That's why tactical puzzles are fun. You get to try new things on them all the time. And that's the only way you can improve is by making mistakes. Is the only way to improve. I think it was Magic School Bus that had that too. It said that you have to make get into the thick of things and make as many mistakes as you can so that you can learn from them. It's not taught and that mistakes are okay to make, but that's the only way you can actually learn is through making mistakes. uh, we're not the Lord, that's for sure. We're not perfect. Yep, that's it. When I was a kid, that was my favorite show. Yeah, I had all the PC games that went with it too. It was fun. Had a lot of learning stuff. Every TV show has a couple hiccups. So, but take chances, make mistakes, and get messy is actually kind of what you have to do in puzzles. You have to um, get in there, type in code. It may end up with you getting checkmated, but you learn, and then you type in more notation, and then we find the right. Even if we don't, we learn and find the right one. That's the fun part about it. That's why they loved Miss Frizzle's class was because it was okay to make mistakes and learn new things. Okay, let's see here. Boy, this is a muddled up mess, isn't it? Ooh, we got a rook that's hanging. Queen takes a8 is a potential move. That's an interesting idea. Is there any weaknesses to that move? Well, he could if queen takes a8. He could play queen takes d4. Hmm. Well, then we have queen takes a7, queen takes e5, and then queen takes e7. And so I think we would be up in that line. We'd be up a whole exchange. We'd be up an exchange in that line. What do you think, guys? My I should say, guys and gals. What do you guys think? My chess friends. That's also a good one. Okay, so what's your input on this? Do you like that? Wow, 8 seconds. They want you to find that in 8 seconds. Cool. This is a puzzle. King D, King D 3, King D3 check. Knight C3, King C2. then b4, b4, and oh! This is interesting. b4, king. Oops. Let me continue on with this line. This is an interesting line. Oops. What are you doing? There we go. King c2. If b3, check. King c1, king c1. If b2, king c2, and knight moves. Knight move, and bishop takes. b2 is mate. Oh, I did? Oh, I typed it twice? Oh. Oh, I did, didn't I? Oh. Well. Yeah, that makes sense. Well, it's hard to write. It's hard to write a line out. Yeah. Yeah, it was that was a pretty hard. It's kind of hard to write those out because you have to have it visualized like a picture in your brain. But we did it. 2 thumbs up. Yay! Hooray! Yeah, I think I added an extra. I did it 3 times, I think. Oh boy! Yikes! Okay. See, we have 4, and he's got 4. I'm thinking that knight e5 might be an idea. Knight e5, taking advantage of the pin. So, knight e5. If knight e7, let's say he plays knight e7, knight takes c6. Knight takes c6, and I believe we pick up a piece. Yeah, knight king d, so king d3, b4, not king c2. Thinking that might be the, and if he just moves, we still win. So let's say that he plays king f8. We still win with knight takes knight takes c6. Knight takes c6. But then he's got queen d7. That could be a problem, huh? Oh, not e7. Sorry, d7. I put in the wrong spot. Oops. That's right here. Sorry about that, yeah. That's right. Hold on, let me paste it back in. It's D7. D7. That's what I mean, D7. Yeah. Oh, that is true. Yeah, I'm thinking, yeah, I see what you're saying. So knight e5, f king f8, knight takes c6, queen d7, and bishop b5, a6, and then knight e5, right? And then that most definitely picks up a worse, yeah, yep, yep. So I think are we going? Are we all in on knight e5? I think that's the move. I think knight e5. Are we going with knight e5? Bishop b5. Queen e7. Queen d7. Then knight e5. Queen d6. I see what you're saying. Yeah. And I think we still can pick up some material on that line. Yeah. One just wins a little bit more though. Let's see, let's see, knight e5, king f8, knight takes c6, queen d7, um, bishop b5, a6. And one way we're stuck kind of in a pin. And yeah. And one we just pick up a piece and we basically win with check. And we liquefy down to a winning endgame. I believe in the end we'd have an extra piece with the bishop move. And we wouldn't have to worry about any of the unfun pins, as you would say. The pin would be all taken care of. We would take with our bishop, and then queen takes, and then knight, and we wouldn't have to worry about any of that muddled up pins or a6 or anything like that. Yeah, I'm changing. I'm thinking bishop b5 is the correct move. That's a pin, because he can actually castle in the other line. He could actually castle too. I forgot about that. He can castle. He hasn't moved his king yet. So he actually has, if knight e5, he has castle kingside. He's actually got castle kingside. But with bishop b5, if castle kingside, we have bishop takes c6, bishop takes c6, and then queen takes c6, and we're good to go. What would Morphy do? I think Morphy would play the bishop to b5 move. I'm thinking bishop b5. Because he'll castle anyways. It's we haven't dedicated our knight to any square yet, so we now have it being a flexible piece. Our knight isn't a target for his dark square bishop. When it's on e5, it would be a target for his dark square bishop, which then would ruin our pawn structure, and we wouldn't want that to come to pass. That wouldn't be fun. We have a lead, and he has some development. We have more space, as in Jeremy Silman. So I would say that trading off a bishop for a knight, because it's a closed position at this moment, would actually benefit white here, because knights are good in closed positions, and no pawns have been traded off. Yeah, it does continue, so I'm in agreement with you on that. Yeah, that is true. Now in comes the knight. Now the knight can come in. See, the other way we'll go over the king move. I mean the knight move. That's funny, king move. This here, he'll castle like what we talked about. Knight takes, queen d, yeah. Oh, queen e8. Interesting. And if we tried this here, a6, if we move back, he could actually grab. See, this is it right here. This little sneaky move here is what actually saves the day right there. See, the bishop idea is if he castles now, we'll actually take. And queen takes. Yes, no pawns have been traded. We have the ability to later on castle if we want to. We really don't have to because it's closed, but we have an extra knight. We have two knights. If you want to consider these pieces, equal to these knights, we have an extra bishop. So, even if this bishop was off the board, this one here, we still would be, in theory, winning. Yeah. There, great job. You did a great job. So even if we didn't have this piece, because we got these knights here, we're we're doing really good. Our knights are just dominating. It dominates this bishop because this bishop's eyeing this pawn chain, and also the majority of the pawns are on dark squares too. 4 out of the 7 pawns are on dark squares, which makes this bishop very unappealing to have. And we can easily handle this knight. You have to always look at the principles behind it, and you'll find the proper move. Mate and 2. There's a bishop though. The bishop's guarding H1. You see the light square bishop's guarding H1 and G2. So yeah, we have to be on guard for that. Oh, you know, okay. See, if we go rook G2, he'll go king F1. Oh, wait a second. We have mate. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. It's mate. There you go. Yep. Great work. Okay, this one's a pretty given too. Queen takes, D1 check, king H2, bishop E5. Only move to save is G2, and then queen H1 is mate. Yeah, that was a walk in the park. Oh yeah, that is a threat. Oh, I remember this one. Now I just gotta oh good, how you doing, Play the Grub? But I'm trying to remember because I've seen this one before. Oh, we take the I believe it's knight takes d5. I gotta make sure of that. Or is it? No. Wait. Hold on. Knight. Let's make sure. Knight takes d5. Rook d7 check. King e. King e8. Yikes! I'm trying to. Oh no, we're fine after takes because it covers the rook there. Yeah. Yeah, we're okay with taking at that point. Yeah, we're good. We're good. See that knight takes d5, holds the e7 square. It holds the e7 square so that we can go there. It holds e7 for us, so we're safe with it. With knight takes holds e7, and then we're good to go. He doesn't really have anything. It holds the c7 and e7, so there's no more chance of checkmates anymore. His piece has basically been banished. So, hurrah! Yeah! Yay! Great job! Great job! What do we do after rook e f8? Well, what you could do is you can play. Oh, let's do it on here. That's not a bad. That's not a bad thing to look at. Not a bad thing at all. So you're wondering what we do here? We just play rook takes b2. And then if he comes here, we block with our bishop. And our knight covers here, here, and here. It's, yeah. Yep. And now we're up 2 pieces. We're up these many pieces. And and our pawn. We have 2 passers. Oh yeah, yes, yes. It's a heaven sent blessing to have that. Very heaven sent. Yeah. Let's see. So queen d8 to c7. Let's see. What do we have at this moment? We have a lot of development. I was thinking about potentially sacrificing. I was thinking about like bishop takes h6, g takes h6, and rook takes e5. Rook takes e5 is an interesting move at that point. Or what we could do is potentially pin the knight to the queen. We could play bishop f. No, that doesn't work. Well, maybe it does. Bishop f f4. Bishop f4 might be a good idea. Bishop f4. Knight f3. Check. Queen takes f3. And oops. And we're up, yeah. Yeah. I'm thinking that that might potentially be an idea. But I think he can, f6 also helps. Huh. Well, if bishop f6, we can actually play bishop takes, bishop takes e5, bishop takes e5, and then queen takes e5, queen takes e5, rook takes e5, and we're up a whole piece in that line, yeah. So it's a lot of e5, 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 and then finally e5. Well, okay, if bishop f4, f6, you have rook takes e5, f takes e5, bishop takes e5, queen, we'll say b6, b6, and then queen g6, I think would potentially win on the spot, maybe something like that, some sort of attack like that. Ooh, nice. Oh yeah, yeah. That's even better. Yeah. So bishop f4 is correct then. Nice. So great job, great work, nice teamwork. Yes, we do. Sometimes don't for me, or I hope I'm pronounced that right, or don't take me or something like that. It's all based on reactive chess. Jeremy Silman talked about it, that sometimes players will, it's in the amateur's mind, they'll react to their king being attacked, and so they'll play inferior moves. And it's kind of sad that that happens, but it does though. Let me see here. Wow, this is interesting for sure. I think that potentially might be the move. Yeah, because rook g7 attacks the bishop at b7 as well. Yeah, that actually does win, doesn't it? Wow. Yeah, I like g5. I'm going with that for sure. Oops. Nope. Both those are wrong. Let me see. Oh, sneaky. That was sneaky. Nice. Nice. Yeah, that was cool. I gotta say, that was pretty nifty. That was interesting. Yep, that was a Morphe puzzle for sure. Oh boy, our rook's under fire. So, actually, as in Reassess Your Chess 4th edition would say, we have to say, let's see, that move does nothing to us. Actually, he says you have to think of it and say rubbish. What that means, it just helps your mind reset so that you're not reacting to, oh no, my rook's under attack. You could say, oh, rubbish, and then what you do is it re-institutes, or you could say, the move doesn't bother my piece, or we can handle this. Whatever it takes to refocus you to not worry about your rook being attacked. And then what you can do is come back to it with a new perspective on, how can I handle this? Or I have, he had one on, I can't, or I have to, or some words like that, yeah. Queen takes, ooh, nice. Nice. Let's work that one out. Yeah. Queen takes h6. Wow. That's a double exclam right there. She takes h6. Knight, f6 check. King g, if king g 7, excuse me. Rook to g8 is g8 is mate, and then we're going to take a look if oops, copy that, copy that, roger that. Let me see. King h6. Then we have rook h8 check. King g5. King g5. And how do we handle that at that point? Let's say there. G takes. Knight f6. Oh, wait a second. He can't flee. My bad. He can't flee. Yeah, this does work. I don't know what I was thinking. He can't flee because this pawn's there. There we go. Nice job. The second line doesn't exist. I thought this pawn wasn't there, but this pawn is here. So there's only the first line's the only one that works. So perfect. Nice job. Nice. Okay, well, we'll solve this one, then we'll go over a Gadakomsky game. Let's get this one solved, yes. Rook takes, king takes, rook g. Yeah, this reminds me of one of those puzzles that I've seen this puzzle before. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Okay, we'll do a Godakowski. This this is actually from a game, I believe. A pretty famous game, this setup here. It's based on these two, oops, I gotta make sure I don't touch that bishop. It's based on these two bishops here. It's, I believe it was in Tactics for Kids. Tactics for Kids had one of these. I forgot what the game name was. Let's take a look. But I think it's a classic game, if I'm not mistaken. Oh no, it's a Thinker versus Interesting. Interesting. Well, at least we know where they got it from. I remember it was from a classic game. I have the book. I'll have to look at it and get the name of the it's a certain tactic that's usually there almost all the time. Okay, let's see how we're doing on our time. Let's see, because I want to put some time into this puzzle. Perfect. Perfect. I have plenty of time. Let's do this thing. Come on. D4, D5, knight F6. You can also play bishop F5 if you want, F4 if you wanted to. And then if knight F6, you can play E3, C5, C4. We went over, there's this tricky line that if you didn't have room for your rook to move, you would lose your b pawn. We went over that line on this, and then you get a pretty big attack. So if you don't do e3 but you play knight f3, that changes the whole scenario, because then here, queen there, and it's the one move you needed to play here. Now you get that dropped, and then what happens is wham, and this is covered. Yeah. And then there's also, if he doesn't play this knight move, but he plays here, and we play here, here, and we come back. Now because this isn't covered, we can actually take. The knight that was here was guarding d5. So when queen takes b, we can slide over and take. And then when queen takes a1, we play queen to b5. And this is under fire, so that if he tries to take to get out, we can pick up a piece. And if he plays there, you can actually just take at this point. Now you're attacking the knight, the rook, and the knight at the same time. And so that's gonna either one of these are gonna fall. One of them are gonna fall. So like if he plays rook over here, you can actually just take there, and then potentially you can actually maybe even sacrifice material, but you don't want to get into a perpetual. So, but it's just the fun difference of when you have a bishop in certain moves. And then bishop f4. So he takes c3. Now there's also the finger pointing rule. When the center's closed, Only when the center is closed did Jeremy Silman say that the Ninovich rule of pawn pointing works. So because the center for black is closed and white, well, this is kind of like a semi closed. Be, oh, here's a game that won. Oh, okay. Well, how many moves is this one? Okay, we'll have to. Hey, what we'll do is we'll look at this one because I could go over this one again. I wanted to see this one. So who did Vyacheslav play for? What nation did Vyacheslav play for? I think I don't mean to pronounce his name wrong, but I was just wondering what nation did he play for? Russia. Okay. Nice. Was this a rapid one or a blitz one or a classic? Was this a classic game? Like a longer? Okay. So there's going to be a lot, my chess friends. There's going to be a lot more thought into this, into the classics because they have longer time limits. So there's going to be more strategic ideas in this play of a game. If it was like a rapid or a blitz, I would say there is some strategy, but there'd be more of a tactical nuance to the play. So I like classic games because they have more strategy based, and this is I believe the advanced Caro-Kann. And the only problem with the advanced Caro-Kann, I think I forgot who said it. It might have been International Master Andrew Martin, or Yazzer, or I've listened to a couple. It could have been Susan Pogar too. So I'm not sure because I've listened to some DVDs that say that the problem with pushing, white does gain space with e5, but he does surrender the bishop going to f5. So e5 gives space, but it loses this whole diagonal. The b1 to h7 diagonal permanently comes under control for a while to black. So I've seen a lot of players potentially either take, or one player I've seen played f3, so that when takes, he has a full center and doesn't surrender f5. It's a different type of a Caro-Kann setup, but it's I know Susan Pogar really likes the Caro-Kann. That was like one of her. She said that her favorite opening was the Caro-Kann. It has a pretty good amount of teeth to it. Yeah, this is the advanced variation. So always remember that pawns can't move back, and even though you gain space, you lose control of f5 and d5, but you gain control of d6 and f6. So now a knight's going to have a pretty tough time getting to its most active square. So you kind of trade ideas. You're allowing the bishop to implant itself on f5, so that the knight doesn't have really any good spots to go to. It's going to take like a couple. See, there's really here, the knight would have to somehow travel. So this pawn makes the G knight really bad. See, there's a give and take for everything. Black gets F5, and white gets to make the G knight bad for a while until it could find a good outpost, maybe via E6, knight E7 to G6. So this one move, yes, it surrendered the B1 to H7 diagonal, but it bought white 3 moves for potential positional maneuvering to maybe even be able to go after the king. But the Caro-Kann is really a strong opening, so it's going to be kind of hard to break down the Caro-Kann. There's a lot. Some players have played F4, taking more space and depriving, basically, because there's some that have played this, and you can actually play the knight in, but you're walking into a pin, so you don't really want to do that. So the main classic Caro-Kann advanced variation has the knight F3. And this is also in harmony with developmental potential, playing bishop to G5, because if this here now bishop G5 is a idea, and then if the bishop blocks, we can actually trade our bad bishop off for his good bishop. Yeah, this is an active bad bishop, so it's still okay. But we have a lot of targets for our bishop. Let's see how many moves. Oh, not bad. Okay. We got to make some tracks, though. So E6, bishop. All right. So they're just developing. All right. Now that the piece is castled, black's going to try to castle maybe on the queen side. C3. If white can't get anything on the king side, white's going to try to do some infiltration maneuvers on the queen side. So if he can't get anything on the king side, he'll go towards the queen side. So he's trying to deprive black of queenside play as well, so that he'll have more of a chance of an attack. A5, knight, and potentially we're going to try to reroute to C2 to E3. Oh wow, so okay, interesting. This would have been an interesting move to have set up right there. Huh. Try to defracture the king a little bit, throw a little bit of caution in the wind, especially when it's a closed game. So it's not a bad idea. Now we actually have the ability to move our knight in for more infiltration on this. And if he tries there, we can always push here and get our bishop involved with, our queen involved, and then H4 to see if we can't cause a little chaos. But you have to be okay with the imbalance. You're trading off a bishop for a knight, so you gotta be okay. You always gotta ask the question, does the trade benefit me or my opponent? And if it benefits you, by all means, go for it. C5. Nice. Nice. Loving it. Good job, white. I'm loving that. Oh, yeah. Loving that. That really did a pretty big damage to black there. Oh, yeah. Gotta love that. And he can't play this here, because if he tries this, that loses a piece. There's a tactic right there. Hello, removing the guard. So that's why, if you're wondering why the bishop didn't go to b5, it's because of that. h4 would cause a lot of chaos, and then we can even get h5 in there and cause some pain to this bishop. Now we have a closed center. We have two knights, so this is actually beneficial for us. There's only potentially two open files. It's going to be a little, black's going to want to actually sidestep over here if he could and try to get some infiltration along the G file. Take the G file open with a rook, and then potentially we'll just say something like this, and then we'll just say queen up, and potentially maybe even getting a queen like that and going for an attack. Potentially. That's a later on plan that black has to keep in their back pocket. Queen d2. Now we're going after this. So bishop could be played here, but I don't know if that's such a maybe it would work. You would actually be able to trade the bishop pair off, and in some lines that would be okay. It's the person who at this point who has more space and more development. So this knight would be out of play, and the only piece that would be really in play is this bishop, and it's a really, even though it's an active bad bishop. So I'd probably favor white in this line slightly, because we can then totally undermine the pawn structure with h4, cause some hectic to black a little bit there. But the king comes up to guard. And if you're wondering why did the bishop take, it doesn't want, this is the only protector of the king. There we go. Now comes the soldiers. This is getting pretty intense right now. I'd love to push. I don't know, I might actually go g4 just to say bring it. Just to say bring. I know his idea is to infiltrate down there, but I'm like, you know what? Go for it. You know, grab it, take it. I don't really much mind. My goal is kingside attack, and if he wants to try to hold the position, more the power to him. Move the king. If the king walks back, wham! Now we got some attack flowing. Hey, how you doing? We're going over a really good chess game right now. And then, oh wow, he has to come up here. And now what we do is we come there. He does have to take, so we come back. And now he's in a world of hurt. It's over now. He'd have to play something like this, then there, and mates to follow pretty soon. He'd have to play there, and then queen would have to take the bishop to free up a spot, and then we would actually first take there, because we'd want to win the rook. He'd come there, or probably in front, and then we would take, and now we're just dominating the position. So you kind of got to be a little bit aggressive and say bring it sometimes. You got to be fearless. You got to be like on Pillar's Progress in the thing when he faces all those guys. He says what's basically write my name, fearless. That's I like that part. And he went against the odds and won. So you have to be fearless. So that, man, I gotta say, white's allowing black to walk all over him. What is white doing? He's got so much options, and he's just allowing black to walk all over him. This is sad. White had a ginormous advantage there for a while. Gotta be careful. I think taking there. And then potentially king over. And then you got some attack flowing. And if bishop takes, you have some attack. So you just gotta be careful. But I guess I'm just like, yeah, let's go for it, you know, that type of thing. Go all in. You can't be scared. You can't be scared. But you got to be smart. I understand. I mean, I know what you're saying, but you know, you got to keep your perspectives on that the game's about checkmate. And I know these players are playing ideas out. They're probably playing games. So this player's probably playing, you know, this game reminds me of this, and the other players, this game reminds me of that. It's who has the correct game memorization that for the proper moves that wins. And sometimes it just comes down to a one move slip up tactic. We've all fallen short to that one. Fallen to that one. Yikes. Ah, double attack. Ah. Drat. Not fun. White's in a world of hurt now. He's down a pawn. Ouch. Down 2 pawns now. I think. Let me see. No, he is only down 1. So it was equal. My bad. Yeah, because you got to be careful. This would lose a rook. And now if you take and take and take, the king comes in and gobbles these pawns up. Or you could just come over and come around this way. There's so much. And now you can just create your pass pawn. And it takes. Oops. That was a mouse slip on my part. And then you just come down and make a queen. Let's make 2 queens. Just work it. He only has 1 square to go to. And then mate. Probably could have made it earlier, but that's basically what would have happened. Do you have any questions before I log off? On the game or anything? Or anything that we talked about? Oh. It's good to have you guys, all you guys here, man. So, no questions? Alright. Alright, well, I wanted to thank y'all for logging on. You know what? This was great. We learned a lot. We're improving. We're getting better. We're being patient and making sure our moves are correct. So, you know what? We have to, like what Tom Thumb Thumb said. Life is about celebrating, treasuring your victories and learning from your losses. Remember that mistakes do not define you. It is how you handle the mistakes that define you. Bruce Lee said there are plateaus, but you must not stay there. Excuse me. You must go beyond the plateau, and at all costs, keep pushing forward. You have to take what you know and not just hold it in, share it, and apply it to your chess game. Because knowing is not enough. You must apply. You can be willing, but unless you take the next step, it's not enough. You have to do. So willing is the first step, but doing is your next step for greatness. And like what we talked about, when you get a title as a chess player, you never forget to don't forget to leave behind information for the next generation. And always remember to teach them that keep pushing forward and that mistakes are okay to make as long as you learn from them and you don't repeat them again. We have to always keep in mind too that chess is about fun, and it's not how we end. It's not how we start. It's how we end that matters. That's why there's 3 parts in chess: the opening, the middle. The opening, the middle, and the end game. So you can win in the end game even though you were losing in the middle game. So never give up. Keep pushing forward. We always study our tactics for one thing: to keep our swords sharp, our sword of the mind. Keep our mind sharp, and always remember your eyes can get distracted when you're playing a chess game. Keep your eyes on the prize, which is the board. You're not playing a player, you're playing the board. And as always, what do? We hang up, and we have to remember one thing too. Always use your abilities to honor and glorify the Lord. He's the reason that we have our thoughts, our breaths, and everything. Our breath, that we can even do what we're doing, is because of Him. But we have to remember too that first of all, we have to hang up our coat, we have to hang up our hat, and we have to sit down and study when most won't we do, and that makes all the difference. Truly it does, my friends. It does. And you know what? As Wesley so says, for the Lord Jesus, as I say, God bless. I'll see you guys next time on Chess Cruncher TV. Have a blessed morning, afternoon, and evening, and Lord willing, I'll be back on tomorrow. And we'll keep pushing forward, improving, getting better, and having fun with chess. Having chess learning fun. Great job. Go Team Chess Cruncher. Hoorah. We did good today. 2 thumbs up. And keep studying chess and honoring the Lord. Bye-bye, guys. Be blessed. I'll see you tomorrow.